Hey, it's Andrew Brown from the AWS Cloud Project Bootcamp, bringing you another video, and this time we are diagramming our CI/CD pipeline. So up here, we did our CI/CD component, and we do have some cross-reference stacks that are happening here. We did update our service to have its own output, or exports, I should say. So we're going to go over here. There's output and then there's exports, which aren't exactly the same thing. We could have just said like output and exports, or even indicated which is which. But I'm just going to call it exports because we generally know that those things are kind of available. I'm going to go over here and say service name over here for this. And that's the only thing we have. So we'll go here and we'll have this go here. We'll take that off as such. I will bring over CICD. Okay, I can bring this over more. And yes, of course, this icon is just superficially there, but we'll bring these down. There we go. Okay. And so we have our cluster exports. And so our CI/CD is using our cluster name. Service name. Yeah, our cluster should have a cluster name export, I believe. Cluster name. And so those are the two ones that this one's using. I'm going to just zoom in here so I can get to what I want to get to here. It's just not listening very well. So we'll go here and go like this. And we'll go over here. Okay. I know it's quite the gross drag, but that's how I'm doing it. And this one's going to go here as well. Okay, so those are the two values that the CI/CD cluster needs. But yeah, those are pretty straightforward. Yeah, we never did this or this. Again, I don't know if I want to, because these two could be very time involved. It really just depends on what we want to do. But, you know, a good way of working with your applications is you should be able to have it all in CloudFormation, tear it down, and set it back up for another environment. So just be aware that we might not have this 100% done. So we have CI/CD, so that is good there. What I want to do is now go over here and document that part. So we have, maybe we can open up PowerPoint and take a look at those icons. Just trying to find any slides here, and then I'm going to open up that recently. Let me just go find that PowerPoint, okay? I don't know, it's just too much work to download. What I'm going to do is just go browse here, because there probably will be one for that automation. I'm just trying to remember what color it is. I think it's yellow, but I could be wrong. So I'm just kind of trying to remember where it is. Code pipeline. All right, we could also just search for it and find it that way as well. Code pipeline. Yep, there it is. Okay, so code pipeline's actually blue. totally far off, and we probably passed it under developer tools. Is that where it is? Yeah, we got code build, code pipeline. I would really like some sub actions. Maybe I will go up, open that PowerPoint AWS architectures, because I don't know, I just kind of feel like there should be newer icons. So I said I wouldn't do this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I don't know how many times I download this, but every time I go to my my downloads, I don't see it. AWS. I'm just off screen trying to open it up. Just give me a moment. Okay, it's opening up in PowerPoint. Just give it a moment. Here we are, enable editing. Gonna bring this over here. All right, and 2023, nice. I wonder if that's newer than from last time we saw it. So what I'm looking for is blue. Probably been faster just to click through the table of contents in the beginning. Light green usually is, well, migration transfer, but usually like ML services. Where are you, blue? Are you kidding me? Did they change the colors? I'm noticing some new colors, by the way. They're always doing that on us, though. No good reason. They just have too much time on their hands. Should have a breakdown per. I've had this before. Here we go. Over here, so I'm looking for developer tools. There we go. Oh, look at that. They changed the color. They're no longer blue. Why are they... Is that pink? Pinkish purple? I don't know, but that's, I guess, what they want to do. That's AWS for you. They're always changing things on you. So maybe we can go use the new icons. They just want your stuff to go stale. You know, one thing is like, I don't know if they need like, this has a gradient, but we're using flat ones. I kind of wish they just have one or the other. I'm just going to go through here, take a look here. Is one flat and one's not? I think these are all flat, right? But yeah, I can't make sense of their color logic for any of this stuff. Can I just paste this in here? I can, but is that an SVG? I don't know. Let me just make it really big. It is not. So I want to make sure that that is an SVG that I'm bringing in here. So I just tried copying and pasting it from here. And that brought it in as a PNG, not what I really wanted. So I'm going to go over to the architectural diagrams here. I'm going to download the actual raw assets because I really don't want to be using PNGs. And so I just downloaded that, and we have architectural category resources. These are, I think category icons. I might be wrong, but let's double check. Doesn't matter what size here. No. It's just they used to have this broken up into like resources and their sub things. So that's what I'm a bit confused about here. Maybe it's architectural service icons. That's probably what it is. So we'll go here into developer. I don't know why they put the word arch in front of it. It's like they make this stuff, but they don't use it, because if they did, they would know this is not a great way to organize this stuff. We'll go into here. And why do we need every single size when it's SVGs? There's no point for that. It just makes a lot more work for us to find stuff. But coming back over here to here, we found that it's much easier just to drag stuff in. So what I'm looking for in here is code build. So there it is. So code build, bring that in. It should load. Let's bring this over here for a second. Try this one more time, code build. Why did it fail to upload? I don't know. Can I bring in a PNG? Can I bring this in? Nope. There are different sizes. I'm going to go to a smaller size. It shouldn't matter, but... Not sure why it's not working. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe reopen Lucidchart because it should work. There's no reason for it not to. We've done it before, and we've done it with SVGs. Now there could be something that is messed up with the SVGs that AWS is using, because we learned, like with Memento, the issues we had with it, eh? And it just does not want to bring it in here. So that's kind of frustrating. I mean, I thought that there might be like some sub icons that we're, oops, I didn't mean to bring that over there, but some sub icons there. So I guess we'll just use the blue ones. I really do like to stay up to date and use the latest, because then it just shows that we are using the latest ones. But sometimes you just can't win there. I wonder if they have like a GitHub one here. They do. I'll just take it from Azure. I don't care. Microsoft owns GitHub, so that's not that big of a deal. We also need a code pipeline. Okay. And so there are ways that you can organize this stuff. I think I found out, like, I came up with a really cool diagram for this. So I'm going to go try to find it, and we can use it as a reference point. We're actually not using code deploy. I don't know why I put that there. but we'll use it as a reference point because I thought I organized it really well. So I'll be back here and just pull up one I have in whatever Adobe's product is, Adobe XD. Be back in a second. So here's one that I've created. This is a couple years old, but this actually was for Teacher Seat at some point. I've remade this multiple times, but at one point, the architecture we wanted to do for Teacher Seat was to have it running on containers. I'm just trying to look at this one here. Yeah, so this one was running all on Lambdas. So at one point, I had a totally serverless architecture for Teacher Seat, and this was kind of interesting. We've changed since then, but yeah, here it talks about like the architecture from another perspective and how certain things are dependent on each other one. So here we had everything was building off of each other stack. So this is how it was. But this is kind of similar to the one we're doing, but ours is not one after another because I found out this is a bad approach to making CloudFormation. But over here, this is more like almost a physical layer where it shows all the parts that are connecting. And what's interesting here is that these are wrapped in CloudFormation. So you can clearly see which components are what. And this one's also multi-account. So this one is in that account and stuff like that. But what's really interesting here is the CloudFormation stack for the pipeline. So over here, you can see that it comes in from GitHub, and then there's a repackage and an asset and deploy. It doesn't work this way anymore, but it used to. And it shows those nested stacks over there. But again, I'm just trying to show you an example of a more complex diagram. And like here, because we were using EC2 virtual machines, we had to, instead of baking our image, we would use automation document to, on a weekly, build out the image. You could do that with containers as well, by the way, but these were all the steps within it that it had to do. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And I just wanted to show you something that's a bit more complex, but also just get inspiration for what I was doing over here, because in here, there's a lot more going on. And so I just wanted to spell that stuff out in these boxes. But looking at this, yeah, I think the only thing we really want to do is take code pipeline and put it in its own little blue box. That's all I wanted to get from there. And yeah, this is Adobe XD. At one point, it was free, and then they made it paid. I started using it not because it's my favorite tool to use, but I was trying to use it free. I was trying to use it to show people how to make diagrams and have a generic program for making graphics and stuff like that. But they made it paid. I pay for Adobe, so I get it automatically. But you know, if you have Illustrator, it usually does work better in that case, or Sketch or Figma. But yeah, I already invested a lot of energy and time into that, so I know how to make it work. But yeah, would there be a way for us to better encapsulate the boundaries of the CloudFormation stacks? Because that would be very useful, because you see all this stuff and you go, well, this is a big diagram, but what is where and where are the boundaries of it? And we do have a general idea over here. So anyway, we're going to go down here below, and I'm going to take this out here. This will be our code pipeline. So I'm just going to get new text. So we'll say code pipeline. And I think we want these to be a little bit smaller. It's a little bit too big here. Try to have it kind of in scale here. And I'm going to go down below. We'll drag out a new box. I'll take one from standard, actually. It's probably the same box, but just in case it's not. Here we want to get rid of padding. I don't think we want padding on that. Not that it matters that much. I want to go here and get rid of the rounding, so I'll take that off. We'll take the text out, and I want to make this blue. So this shows blue, which is nice here. Can I get that as well? Yep, I think I can. I don't need a background, so I'll just take that out. I just noticed this one's rounded, I think. It's not supposed to be. Those are rounded, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, they're rounded. I could have swore I took the border off those. Maybe those are the ones that come with AWS. Oh, I didn't even notice. You know what? At one point, they weren't rounded at all. So I guess AWS at some point put a little bit of rounding on them. I didn't even notice that. That, or maybe it's Lucid that's doing that, because I could have swore that they used hard edges for their stuff. But you know, I just have a background in graphics design. That's why I'm so picky about these things. Of course, other folks don't care as much as this as I do. So just put the effort that you want to put into it, but just make sure that it's presentable. Try to keep sizes the same, stuff like that. So we'll go over here. We'll drag this wider. And so there's not exactly a, I don't know why it won't select the right thing. Okay. And so we need to kind of represent our states. I'm going to just put it here, like say source step. Come on. Build step. Deploy step. Okay, and we don't really exactly have a representation of the ECS deployer. So it doesn't really matter which one we take. I'm just trying to take a shape out here. So ECS deploy. And I'm just trying to get in here, and these are kind of big, to be honest. Bake image. Bring this down a bit. Maybe give it a different color just so it looks a bit nicer. And I'm going to shrink this here. Okay, and so we have that in place here. I'm going to drag this over, and I mean, what this is doing is it's working with the ECS cluster. So I'm going to put this, well, it's a bit hard because what this is doing is this is going to bake a new image and go to ECR. So do we have ECR repo here? We must. Oh, it's these here, right? So here, this is going to go here and push new image to latest. Push image latest, because it doesn't version it. Okay, I'll just take that one off there. And then this thing here is for the cluster. So I'm just going to go here. It's not the nicest place to put it. And yeah, this is not nice looking at all. And this will just be like trigger deploy. Now, it is technically, I guess it could be over here as well, but it's Fargate. It's Fargate, the cluster itself, that is the mechanism which is doing it. So that's why I pointed it there. You know, people can debate me where the best place to put it there is, but that's what I have. I think we had to have permissions, didn't we, for this? So this would have been, it's like code pipeline rule. Right, and then this would be attached here. I think I used dotted lines for that for some reason. There we go. This one doesn't have to be so small, the font here. Bring this up a couple. But yeah, that's our pipeline. You can see that you can add more information. It just depends on the complexity of it. This is a very straightforward pipeline, so I don't really feel like adding all those additional things there. We could also specify some, because if we're looking at this as a physical diagram, we should probably be specifying like what version, like what image, what like is it x86, Amazon X2, stuff like that. The stuff that you can put here. are we using version 1 or version 2 for the GitHub Actions, stuff like that. Anything that you could forget that is important configuration information that are like simple things like that, I would probably include in a physical diagram. Chris Williams might say, some of that makes sense, some of that doesn't, but that's my thought there. But yeah, we are done the CI/CD stuff, but we still do need to make sure we get this app working. We do need to deploy the front end container. I am very tempted to move that container over to CloudFront, because that is where some boot campers have been doing that. But I don't know. I'll have to think about that, okay? But anyway, there you go. That stuff is done. I'll see you the next one. Ciao.